Yo, copyright disclaimer. Yeah. Yo, Kurimeo. Keep it steady, yo. So, just take this journey with me. You don't have to believe anything. Just have fun with it. If it's boring to you, don't watch it. That's it. Kurimeo tell you, keep it steady. Because many will be called, but only a few will be chosen. Welcome to the journey. You gotta choose. Whether you want to care, you want to listen, you want to research the stuff. Sense of action of determining one's bearings. Orientation. A usually general or lasting direction of thought, inclination, or interest. I feel like maybe there's a lot of you that do want to know this, so I gotta share what I know. Knowledge is for sharing. If you keep the knowledge inside, because it's power, you've heard of that, right? So if you keep the knowledge inside and you're being greedy, then you know better than a mason or somebody who just wants to keep it to their secret order or whatever. So share the knowledge. That's what it's for. Knowledge comes from the Creator. The act or process of orienting or being oriented. Alright? So I'm going to take you on a journey with me. Hopefully you have fun with this. Be firm with your thoughts. Follow your heart. Learn how to discern wisdom, the knowledge that you receive. A lot of it comes in distorted ways. So I want you to go on this journey with me. You can see it as fiction, you can see it like a story, a myth, whatever. Just have fun with it. You don't have to believe anything I say, but you can research it, and hopefully that's what you're gonna do. Alright? So Nikola Tesla. If you wish to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Every living being is an engine geared to the willwork of the universe. Though seemingly affected only by its immediate surrounding, the sphere of external influence extends to the infinite distance. Nikola Tesla. Our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself work on the same frequencies. What is a frequency? Frequency. Now we're talking about frequencies and vibrations, right? Sounds like sound, right? Sound. Nikola Tesla is telling us that you want to understand like life, universe itself, you understand frequencies and vibrations or sound. What does it say here in John 1? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word, sound, vibration, He spoke, the Word. The vibratory nature of matter is mentioned in the Bible. John's Gospel starts in with the beginning was the Word. A little bigger for you. And it teaches us that this vibration is God, and is God Himself. The word in this verse is the Greek word logos, which is in the Bible used to delineate speech and faculties of the mind like thinking and reasoning. We know that speech means not just any kind of vibration, but a vibration that carries information, is uttered by a living person, and embodies a concept or an idea. In this case, it means that the living Creator, our Father God, created intelligent vibration, which then created everything else. It's also interesting to note that the Word is by nature a sound vibration. Physics tells us that the sound is transmitted through a medium in the form of compression wave. As the compression waves of the word travel through the underlying universal substance, that medium is periodically displaced and begins to oscillate. If we label compressed universal substance as things and rarefied universal substances as space, we could say all things were made by him, the Word, and without him was not anything that was made. John 1:3. Talking about the creation, the Maya creation, and it really talks about like in the Popol Vuh how we have the framer and the shaper. So they're referring to the creator not just as a male or one person. It's like a duality or male female. So it says the vital elements of this passage are unclear, ambiguous, and this book is the goddess of ancient Maya. And contradictory, it is apparent that the framer and shaper, Shishapayok and Shishap, are a reference to the Maya first mother and first father. In the Popol Vuh, this narrative begins by giving a long list of paired male and female god names, framer and shaper, she who has borne children, he who has engendered sons, Hanapu Possum, Hunapu Coyote, Great White Peking Koti, and so on. So it says later in the text, the pairs Hunampu Possum, Hunampu Coyote, White Great Pekari Koti, and creator of the blue-green bowl are specifically said to be names for the creator grandparents called Shipayokok and Shumkane. The vital elements of the passage are unclear, ambiguous, and contradictory. It is apparent that the framer shaper, Shiyakok and Shukame, are referred to as the Maya first mother and first father. 10 Commandments, alright? So, showing you this because you can see number 5. Honor thy father and thy mother. So it says here, they are specifically said to be names for the creator grandparent, Shiyakok, Shumukane. So think about that. Honor thy father and thy mother. Now, see if you could maybe see this in a different way. So remember we were talking about the framer and the shaper. The twin heroes from the Mayas as well. And how they created life, and how in Hebrew the word for God is plural, as in Elohim, giving it a duality. And what is this feminine energy? Can it be? Why not? We got the framer and the shaper. Been called many different ways: Mother Earth, Gaia, and the Father, right? Think it's your humanly mother and father? Remember, this is translated from Hebrew, Old Hebrew, which was all about sound and vibration. So Hawah, in the beginning, the Popol Vuh begins by describing the universe before the appearance of the earth and before the creation of human beings. In this primordial age, there was a vast sea of fresh water with a sunless and starless sky above it. This sea was the source of all water, and within it lived Shiyakok and Shumkane, the creator grandparents. Where did they live? Within the sea, or inside the water. So it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form, and void and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So the earth had no form. Void and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Deep what? The deep waters. So it says, the universe, before the appearance of earth and before the creation of humans, in this primordial age there was a vast sea of fresh water with a sunless and starless sky above it. So no form. This sea was the source of all water, and within it lived Shachapo Kukuman. Can't pronounce that, my fault. So the earth was void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. And And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So God said, God spoke, word, vibration. He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Where was there light? In the darkness, in the deep of the waters. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. So, what I want to show you here is, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. So Genesis 1 says, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So here we are looking at the origin of the word planet. Old English, Old French. Wandering stars. Wandering stars. So here we have Mars. Here we can see Venus.
This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable.
Check this out.
First it expands.
This is inside water.
Then it collapses. And this collapse happens
Like
so
a star.
violently that vapor
Collapses just like a star. So they're doing a sound vibration frequency inside water, and they focus it like one certain spot. And where they do this, it creates this little bubble of light, and this light, you know, gathers and then collapses, and just like a star does. And watch this.
molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble
So what is this? This is saying is that this doctor, Japanese doctor, was noticing how when he grabbed water from these clean rivers and these freshwater rivers, the crystals looked, in order. They had shapes. They had these geometrical, beautiful shapes. And he's also sent energy towards this water, like showed it love, appreciation, positive feelings, positive thoughts and energies, and created beautiful geometric patterns. As soon as he noticed that in dirty water or polluted water, the crystals didn't have no formation. And also, when you send hateful thoughts to water, and you froze it, you can see that there's no pattern. Let me show you. And again, and again, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And we can see how sound and frequency and vibration can create light inside water. So the darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of God moved upon the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw this light, and that it was good. So God divided the light from the darkness. So after creating the light from the frequency, from the sound, He wanted to separate the light from the darkness, or have them like in their own spots. Have the light somewhere and the darkness somewhere else. And God called this light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Okay? So how can you divide waters? So divide the waters from the waters. How can we? So we have the light. Remember, we're still in the water, and we created light. God created light with sound, frequency. He spoke it. The word was in the beginning, as John 1 says. And so, how do you divide waters from waters? Inside water, how do you divide the waters? I mean, the Bible's telling us. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. So God made a firmament to divide the waters. Firmament, the heavens or the sky, especially when regarded as a tangible tangible thing. What does tangible mean? Perceptible by touch. A thing that is perceptible by touch. Tangible. So why is it telling us that the firmament, the heavens or sky, especially when regarded as a tangible thing, is what? So, we're going to look at a little bit of images here. Firmament. Firmament. Okay, a firmament. Okay, now let's look at how do you divide, how can you get a pocket of air inside water? I mean, think about it. So we're creating a firmament. As you can see, this bubble has like a little cover on top, a dome or a firmament, and it did divide the waters that were outside from the waters that were inside. So you can get an air pocket, right? A bubble or something inside water. So God created a firmament so the water up here does not touch the waters below or inside. And that creates a little pocket inside for us to breathe. And the sun inside the bubble. This picture. It is possible to have air inside water. You can separate waters from waters, as you can see here. The Creator is omnipresent. He can do whatever he... Think about it, man. Think about it. So, let's continue. So, and God made the firmament. Something we can touch, perceive. Heaven, sky, and divided the waters which were under the firmament, and from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And then God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Then, as the Popol Vuh states, then was created therefore the earth by them. Merely their word caused it to be its creation, that it be created. Earth, earth, they said. Immediately then it was created. Like merely cloud, merely mist. Its creation, then its formation. Then we asked to come from water, the mountains. Straightway great mountains came to be. The Popol Vuh refers the measuring out of the earth's surface into a quadrilateral space. The earth visually appears to be a flat disk, but the Maya believed that on this flat disk was a quadrilateral space. The points where the solstice sun rises, it says, define the corners of the quadratic world. Quadrilateral. Okay, so what does it say here? The earth visually appeared to be a flat disk to the Mayas. Okay. Now we're going to look at some representations. Okay, so this would be how the Bible describes the earth. As you can see, the waters above the firmament, right? The firmament that's separating the waters from up here, from inside, giving us an air pocket, giving us somewhere we can stand, we can breathe, a haven, right? Or heaven. And what does it show you here? This is the most thing I want you to pay attention to is the sun, the moon, and the stars are inside the firmament. Inside the firmament. Okay, so this is a representation of how the Maya viewed the cosmos. And I'll tell you, it looks just like the Hebrew one. You can see the sun and the moon, everything inside the firmament. Flat earth. Okay. As you can see. Navajo, Maya, Shika, all showing a firmament and a flat disc. We're gonna go to the Egyptian. So, as you can see, the firmament with the stars, and under it, this would be the great tree, and this is the land, the mountains. They have a name. Let me just get that for you. So you can see they also had a firmament in Egypt. The air god Shu raised up Nut, the sky goddess, above Jeb, the earth god. As you can see. So here's another depiction of the earth, heaven of heavens, ocean of heaven, the firmament with the stars, the sun, and the earth, all inside the firmament. Okay. So when did it all change? Why am I bringing this up? Why am I talking about the firmament and how they're depicting the earth flat? Why am I talking about this? As you can see, I'm not the first, right? Before, a long time ago, Copernicus, before Copernicus came, you know, every civilization had this same idea of a dome, a firmament, the heavens, and flat earth, and how you can extend, you can climb up to the highest mountain and you can see the whole land. And you know, it's been like that throughout history, always. Look at this painting right here. With the stars, the sun, the moon's inside, and then the wheels of life, right? So it says, now, you know, I know that I'm citing the Bible a lot, and I want you to know this, you know, this I don't want you to think I'm coming from a religious point of view, because knowledge is knowledge, you know. In the Bible, the Old Testament, that's history right there, man. The Old Torah, that's history right there. I mean, if you have every time you have a different perspective in life and knowledge, whatever, every time you read a Bible verse, you're gonna read it differently. Let's go back. A. Usually general or lasting direction of thought, inclination, or interest. So, arrangement of buildings. Sense of action of determining one's bearings, orientation. So, maybe once you're oriented, right, and the reason I'm telling you is like, how can you how can you think clearly if you think you're spinning on a ball? I mean, you're going 1100 miles per hour or something like that, you know, and there's a certain curvature for every mile. You're supposed to see a curvature, and I mean, we keep proving this is not right. I mean, if you put up, the balloons up in the sky, if you get a really good camera and you zoom in all, I mean, it's supposed to curve, and it doesn't. Okay, and I mean, saying that, there's some Bible things in there that are if you're religious and you really follow the Bible, or if you're not religious, you just follow the Bible because you know it's knowledge. I mean, it's not about religions. The Creator, man. It's not the word God was created by man. Like as you see, the Mayas, talked about it as the framer and the shaper, like female and male, the female and male energies. Duality. Why can't the Creator be both? You know what I mean? Like what they knew that, so it wasn't. I mean, in Hebrew, you have the word Elohim for the word Yahweh or God. Elohim is plural. Hebrew is plural. So I mean, I was like a lot of people thinking, what does this mean? Talking about aliens created us, or I mean, who's plural? Why is it mentioned the angels? And then it says, let us create man in our image. So let's go to that right now. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So if you say an Elohim, or plural, right? The Elohim, right? Plural. Let us make in our image, the framer and the shaper, right? She who has borne children, he who has engendered sons. Okay, so I can go on and name all the civilizations that had the same thing, the Hindu, all of them. If you look it up, research it. So everything it's another thing I want to say. So everything I say here, you don't have to believe anything I say. It's not about believing. I want you to know thyself, like know what you're feeling inside, know who you are. So if you want to research anything I'd say, go ahead more thoroughly. Actually, every topic I talk about, you go research it. Okay, because we're all learning together. We're all waking up. You know what I mean? It's time. We're all waking up. So the knowledge is out there. We just gotta know how to discern it. You know, if we are oriented right, if we stop spinning, we're not dizzy anymore, we're firm, then we can do that. Because what does it say right here? In Chronicles 16:30, he has fixed the earth firm, immovable. Doesn't say nothing about spinning. Psalm 93:1. Thou hast fixed the earth immovable and firm. Psalm 96:10. He has fixed the earth firm, immovable. Psalms 104:5. Thou didst fix the earth on its foundation so that it can never be shaken. Isaiah 45:18. Who made the earth and fashioned it, and himself fixed it fast. Okay? Let's read about right here. The vault of heaven. Let's put it a little closer. Okay, there we go. Sorry. The vault of heaven is a crucial concept. The word firmament appears in the King James Version of the Old Testament 17 times, and in each case it is translated from the Hebrew word rakia, which meant the visible vault of the sky, vault, or firmament. The word rakia comes from rikwa, meaning beaten out. In ancient times, brass objects were either cast in the form required or beaten into shape on an anvil. A good craftsman could beat up a lump of cast brass into a thin bowl. Thus, Elihu asks Job, can you beat it out, Rakah, the vault of the skies, as he does? Hard as a mirror of cast metal. You see what that says? And you know what? I gotta check that out. I gotta definitely check that out. Check this out. Job 37, 18. It's just for fun, you know. Let's go. Let's see what does it really says. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong in a molten looking glass? Okay. Let's get another version. What version do you want? Let's get let's see. Common English Bible. Let's see. Common English. Can you form the sky with him, hard like a mirror made of metal? Okay, so what is it telling us here, man? That the sky is metal, like it's hard, a mirror made of metal, like a what? Like a crystal? Boom. All right, so let's go back, man. Elihu's question shows that the Hebrews considered the vault of heaven a solid physical object. Such a large dome would be a tremendous feat of engineering. The Hebrews, and supposedly Yahweh himself, considered it exactly that. And this point is hammered home by 5 scriptures. Check this out. So Job, y'all can pull out your Bibles, whatever version you guys have. So Job 9:8, who by himself spread out the heavens, Shama Jim, Shamajim. Psalms 19:1. The heavens, Shamajim, tell out the glory of God, and the vault of heaven, Rakiya, reveals his handiwork. So it says, if you look at the heavens, you can see the creation of God, like his power, his creativity. Because the vault of heaven, or the firmament, reveals his handiwork. It shows how powerful he can be to separate waters from waters and create an atmosphere. So when we saw that video of the stars, here we go again. What are we seeing? Luminary, light. And how was the light created? Through frequency. Cymatics, or sound frequency resonance, in water resembles pulsating stars. You see? Exodus, movement of the people. You know, we gotta wake up, alright? It's gonna take some time to stop spinning, but we can do this. Like, we gotta remember it's inside of us. Knowledge, the truth. Once you have it, then you can be free. Free to be firm and think and reason correctly. Look at the piano notes. Look at the piano notes. Music, vibration, 432 versus 440. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. Show them the stars again. That's water with the, look at the star. Just like the water. So, we have the waters above. So, we have waters above. Don't these stars look just like how you would see light inside a pool? When you're looking at a pool inside, you see the light. Sometimes it moves because the water's moving. You see the light vibrating like that, moving. Like the waters, like the stars in water.